Hi guys, and welcome to episode 4 of my Factorio Let's Play series. Hope you guys are all doing okay today. So, what's the plan for today? I'm going to hopefully get green science up and running, and then there's a couple of other small things here and there that I'll be doing. And we've got research. Right, there's not a lot of researches I can do that don't require green science, so I'm just going to go with one that will be done quick, but just needs red science. So just getting the materials I need to do what I want to do today. I'm also going to upgrade all of these factories from the assembly machine level 1 to assembly machine level 2s, because they're quicker at actually producing the items they're creating. And as you can see, these have got a crafting speed of 0.75, whereas the others only have a crafting speed of 0.5. The good thing, of course, is none of the assembly machine level 1s will be wasted, because you use those to actually craft the next level up. So, as I pick them up, I'll just be able to change them into the next level as I swap them all out. And then the ones that I have left I'll use later. And research is up again, damn that's quick. So again, I'm just going to go with one that requires red science, although I think I'm going to go with one that requires a lot of red science that takes a while. So while I'm getting on with this, I can talk about some other things. I'm really enjoying recording these, and I'm looking at games in a whole different way now. When I play them, I'm looking at them as oh, could I do a let's play on this? Or, would it be enjoyable? So it's adding a new sort of element for me into the games I play. And there's a couple of games that I'm playing at the moment that I think I might do either a small one-off episode of, or possibly even expand onto a let's play of their own. But you'll have to wait and see what games they are. So I said before that I had a couple of other little jobs that I wanted to do as well. So one of those is my power problems. My power's not really been that good since sort of the last episode, and at the moment it's still just barely keeping up, even with the 2 mining drills. So I'm gonna have to work my way round to another coal deposit and start mining that, just so that I can keep up with the power demands. And obviously the problem only gets worse as I upgrade the factory, and the power supply just needs to get bigger and bigger. Right, so what I'm doing at the minute is getting the first steps for green science. So I'm putting the inserters that are being crafted and the conveyor belts onto lines so that I can meet them somewhere and get the green science crafted up. Now, once again, there's no real point putting these on separate lines running next to each other, so instead I'm just going to combine them onto one line. When it comes to science, you never really need a massive throughput, for the simple reason that you can have a couple of assembly machines and they'll manage to supply quite a few research labs all on their own. So I'm just getting the power all hooked up and then adding in the inserters and adding the conveyor belt where the green science is going to go. Okay, and just set these both to green science. And obviously I need to connect that one up with materials. Oh, bit too far. And there we go, green science production. So what's next? Now is moving the research labs, because there's no point them being a direct one-to-one on the red science now. So I'm going to get the research labs and set them up on their own little section. Going to need a couple more underground belts, which I'm just crafting up now. And just waiting for all the other research labs and stuff I had going. Okay, so we'll just sort of skip the underground belt for the second and work out where this is going. So again, I'm just going to combine these onto one line, so we'll have green science down one side and red science down the other. So we'll fit in the research labs and find out, or get the right spacing. And there's the 6 of them. So again, just adding power in. And there we go. So the next thing is inserters, and then I'll be adding in the red science. Okay, there's the belt. So there we go. Obviously I'll have to extend this line down so it covers all of the research labs. But there we go, we've got working green and red science now. So I should have enough assembly machines making red and green science for the lines to back up. Especially with the green science at the moment, because I'm not actually using it, I'm only using the red. So, on to the next job. I need a couple of chests and some inserters for this. And I'm just going to set up something of a buffer chest. It gets quite annoying having to run along the line and pick up iron and copper and things like that, and you always end up with other things in your inventory. So I'm going to set these up so that they'll pick up the copper when there's an abundance, and when there's not enough on the line itself, they'll drop it down back onto the line. So I'll be able to get any excess in a chest, and that will help me out later on. So we'll have a quick look at what the map's uncovered. We've got a nice big iron deposit up in that top corner, and we've also got a small red dot there, which I think is the very first biters. Not sure whether it's a base or what, but as it's pretty close, I'm going to armour up and go and investigate at some point. And just going to drop off the red science that I've managed to get in my inventory. There we go. Now, one of the next little jobs that I wanted to get done is I want to get steel to be smelted. I don't need much at the moment, but I'd like a small supply for some of the things that the green science is going to open up for me. So if I get it started now, it'll mean that I'll have some when I actually need it a little in the future. So I'm just going to go with a pretty quick and easy setup. I'm going to have a furnace next to the coal line, bring some iron down, and there we are. It's just all going to go straight into a chest, and again I'm going to use a burning inserter because there's no point wasting power when I don't need to. As I say, I'm not going for a lot of steel, and this won't be in any way my final steel production, nor where the line's going to be itself. Eventually I'll have it on its own dedicated line with its own dedicated miners, because later in game you do need a lot of steel. So just need to add in my underground belt and my steel production is complete. So another job ticked off the list. Although it's a little bit slow, so I'm going to change the inserter for a blue inserter, so that'll just help speed things up. So while my factory's just running away, I will go and investigate that red dot from the map before. So if it's a small base, I'll probably get rid of it, because obviously they're not too hard at the very start, but if you leave them too long they become more and more difficult. Oh, and research. So now we've got green science going, I'm going to go for steel furnaces, which is just an upgrade to the standard furnace. So as we get a little bit closer to this, we'll... Oh. Okay, so it's a worm. Well, that's not so much of a problem because it will never come after me, so I can pretty much just leave it there. And while I'm here surrounded by trees, I may as well mine a couple of them, get some wood. But yeah, so with it being a worm, we don't really have to worry. But as you can see, my pollution is getting quite big. That's one of the other problems with being in a desert. There's not many trees, so your pollution is free to spread further and faster. So I've really got to sort of worry about the surrounding areas and where the biter bases might actually be. Because if they get too much pollution and start attacking before I'm ready, they will probably overrun me. Back at the factory, and just looking at my gear throughput, it's quite low, so I'm going to add in a few more assemblers and try and get that line full. Because at the moment gears are needed quite a lot for both the conveyor belts and the inserters, so I really don't want that line to be empty. So shouldn't take long, we'll get this set up, and it should increase our throughput by quite a bit. Yeah, need some more electric poles. So while that's doing, I'll add some lights in. I hope you guys think the amount of lights I've got is enough. If you guys think you need more or want more, just let me know and I will add them. Okay, so that increases my gear throughput by quite a bit. And my iron and copper line look okay at the moment. So I think it's probably about time to start going with the power, because as I say, with just these 2 electric mining drills, it's not enough coal, and I think that's going to become quite a problem later on. So I'll leave those 2 where they are for the moment, but I'm going to add in quite a few at another site. So if we look at the map, we've got a small coal deposit over here, and we've also got one down underneath the copper. The top left one is just a little bit too far to sort of be bringing over. So I'm going to go with the one that's underneath the copper, because I've already got things at the copper itself, so it'll be easier to add electric and things like that. So we're just adding a long conveyor belt for it all to run on, and then we'll be adding lots of mining drills. Because as I say, I'd rather the coal line be too full than empty. So we'll add these in, see how many we can cover. Okay. And I'm not too bothered if the mining drills are overlapping each other's mining areas. Again, because I'm just trying to get as much coal on this as possible. And once I work out how to actually put the cables down, conveyor belts rather. So make sure they're all hooked up, and now I just need to supply power. So we can go straight up, and I hate it when it does that. So just got to hook it up to what we've got here, and that should now be running. So just go have a quick check, see if the coal is running, and it is. Lovely. So just check that power. Yeah, we're still within our limits. So, oh, and research is up again. The next thing I'm gonna need, I think the best thing I can go for is actually electric poles, because having the extended range of the electric poles will make quite a bit of difference, and it means I won't need wood, so I won't need to keep hunting for a forest. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is grab some materials for another mining drill. I'm going to be using another mining drill, or a couple of mining drills actually, because I want to set up a proper stone mining area. And I want to have that obviously fully powered, but I need stone for a couple of things that I want to do either this episode or the next. So we'll just head over, and actually while I'm heading over I may as well bring the power over as well. Okay, so we may as well get rid of this little burning mining drill and put down our electric one. We'll get rid of the chest because again, don't really... yeah, there's no real need for the chest as a buffer. We'll just go straight for conveyor belts. So need to split off some coal as well so that we can get that going. And yeah, that should be okay. Just need to get an underground belt. There we go. And there we are. So we'll have this coming up and just going next to that belt there. Obviously not a lot of coal is coming through yet because it's still making its way around the system. But once the coal from the new area comes through, this should fill up pretty quickly. So we need a couple of furnaces. And also a bigger chest. Okay, I made that line a little longer than it needed to be, so I'm actually smelting up the stone, and I'm doing that so that I get stone bricks. And stone bricks are useful for all sorts of things later on. The other thing I want is, put it further over, I want a chest that actually collects just pure stone as well, because obviously stone on its own is useful, and so I don't want to smelt all of the stone into bricks and then not have any normal stone. So, put that one in the wrong spot, and put it back in the exact same spot, never mind. There we go, that's better. And now I've put that in the wrong spot. I know what I'm trying to do, I just keep messing up. There we go, right. So now both furnaces are putting the stone bricks they make into the middle. Right. Now obviously, once the buffer chest that I've got set up finishes picking most of the stone up, more stone will then come through into the furnaces. But to speed it up a little extra, I'm going to have a couple more mining drills. So I'm doing this so that I get, obviously, stone bricks. And stone bricks, as I say, can be useful for several different things. One of the main reasons I need stone bricks is so that I can get the next stage of furnaces. And we've got research. So I'll set this to engine, so that's on its way for our first sort of foray into trains. And I just need some more conveyor belts. But yeah, so I want to get the stone bricks so that I can start with the upgraded furnaces. So I'm already getting steel, which you need for the upgraded furnaces, and the next thing I need is the stone bricks. So just grab some of these. Oh, grabbed a load of inserters as well, but never mind. They'll always come in handy, I suppose. So just hook these up with both power and on cables, conveyors rather. Again, I always get those mixed up for some reason. Okay, so that should help us. We'll have more of them in now. And just gonna go get some more wood because again, I've run out of enough for electric poles. Again, eventually I will be using the other electric poles which don't require wood, but for the moment I'm still sort of stuck with these. Just because I don't really have the steel and that to use on that because I'm saving it for other things. But once we get our steel production up and running, we'll be able to make electric poles automatically, which will be a great help. Right, I think that should be enough. So we'll get the electric poles crafting up and stick them at the end of my inventory. Once I sort of get my inventory set up, I like to have certain things in certain places on the hotbar just so I've got easy access to them and I know where they are and what sort of hotkeys to get to them. And hopefully this is made, yeah, it's got some stone bricks and that was research, we'll deal with that in a second. So we're going to need oil processing because we're going to need that for sort of the next level of science and the next level of sort of tools and stuff that we need eventually. So if we get it done now, then I won't be waiting for it later. So pick up the little bit of steel we've got, and we'll make the first set of steel furnaces. So the steel furnaces are, I think, double the speed of the normal furnaces. Yeah, so crafting speed of 2 rather than a crafting speed of 1. So there we are. We'll set them up like that, and the last one I suppose can go onto the iron supply. And I'm afraid to say I think that's about all we've got time for today, guys, so please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.